3 builds in 3 years. What I've learned, the most asked questions. We have the Mark II 180T. The Mark II VR6. And the Corrado 180T. We're gonna talk about which one is the best car, what engine's the best. All these things, the most asked questions that I get on all the videos, I get messaged to me, we're gonna answer them. And yes, they were all back to back to back. There was no years that I didn't go without building a car. This was 3 builds in 3 years. So the number one question that I get is what's better, the VR6 or the 180T in the Mark II? So, and I classify the Corrado as a Mark II also. So to me, in my driving and the way that I like to drive these cars is a 180T hands down. The balance, the speed, just everything feels right. It's like, it feels like that engine was supposed to be the engine in the car. Like, I still love my VR6 and my Mark II, the sound, but that's more of like a cruiser car for me. That VR6, it just doesn't perform like a 180T in a Mark II platform. Like when you turn in with a VR6, it is totally different and not as good as a 180T in a Mark II platform. It just feels so much more balanced. Like when you turn it, it's with the car, everything's going together. It feels so good. Like the VR6 is just, I know some people don't want to say it's heavier because, oh, with the turbo and the intercooler with the 180T, it's not the same. All right. I don't know what kind of big turbo, if you're putting a big turbo on a 180T and a heavy intercooler, maybe, but the stock turbo, the light aluminum intercooler that I have, it's way lighter up in the front. The VR6 is heavier and it sits so far in front, it just ruins the handling. If that's the only car you have, you're not gonna know that. And when I go, if I don't drive my 180T, if I'm just driving, it's still fun. You can still push it, but it's not like driving a 180T where it's lighter and it's pushed back closer to the firewall. So the next question is, what car is better? So everyone's seen I've had a big bumper Mark II, small bumper Mark II, and I've had a Corrado. If you haven't seen both side by side, like the Mark IIs are hatchbacks, so they're a lot like thicker, in the middle. The Corrado, it feels like more of a sports car. So it's more compact. When you get in it, everything's smaller like a sports car. It's not like a Mark II where it's a hatchback, a hot hatch, where you got a lot of room because, it was supposed to be a commuter car and everything. Like when they're building the Corrado, it was supposed to be like a sports car. When you get in like a Porsche or you get in like an older Ferrari or even like an older Corvette, any like sports car, that's what the Corrado feels like. Like when you get in it, it feels tight. It feels more of a sports car feeling. The question I get most is what size wheels? And if you look through the forums, everyone says different things. And, for me, I don't have show cars. My cars are drivers. And when I'm driving mostly the Corrado, like for me, it is I'm pushing hard on this car and I'm driving on roads. So they're very bumpy and I don't want them, I don't want to hear any scraping. I don't want to hear anything like that. So I'm driving my cars. So my wheel and tire size is probably a lot different than some people. So on the Corrado, I have 16s with, I think they're 205, with 205s, 45s. Yeah, 205, 45, 16s. And I feel like the 16s with this setup is perfect for a Mark II car. So the next most question I get is, can you keep the AC on a VR6 and 180T? And yes, you can. I've seen them on both. The VR6, obviously, it's going to be a little tight, but I've seen it. So the next question I get is so weird to me. I have no idea because I haven't looked in the past when everybody was doing this VR6, the 12 valves, and I get asked, do you have to bash in the side of the engine bay for a VR6? And no, the VR6, the 2.8 VR6 I have in my car, it fits perfectly. There's no bashing needed. I think back in the day, some people weren't using the correct mounts on the Mark II frame, and they've had the bash the side of the frame rail or something. I have no idea. There's no bashing needed if you're doing my step-by-step process. Next question, what front sway bar do you use? So if you're using the Mark III subframe and the Mark II arms, you want to stick with the Mark II sway bars. Next question, what fuel tank to use? And I tell everyone in all my builds, I use the Mark III fuel tank. The Mark III fuel pump works perfect with the VR6 or the 1.8T. And everyone asks why? Why can't I just leave the Mark II? Like, obviously you have not dealt with Mark II fuel pumps and then that little surge pump. It always leaks. And if they fail, you're not gonna find parts like an AutoZone, or if you're on a road trip, like the Mark III stuff is still in parts stores. So if you're driving or whatnot, you can get parts for them. So that's my thinking on that. Next question, how to defeat your immobilizer on your ECU so you can use that Mark IV ECU with the engine swap. So I'll put his link right down here. The guy I use, you can send your ECU off, he'll delete it for you, or you can just buy ECU from him so you can have it immobilized. It'll be immobilized and it'll be tuned already for you. Next question is, how do you get the cluster to work with your swap? So I'm gonna link the video right here. I made a video on this already, how to do it. It's very simple. So go press right here and I'll show you how to do the cluster. Next question, what intake manifold to use? If you've watched my series, I love using the Audi TT 225 intake manifold. It puts the piping on the other side. I think everything flows well together. You know, from factory, that's how the Audi TTs, the 225s came, and you can tell it just flows really nice. Other people, you know, if they're doing it themselves, they have a couple pipes going in different directions because, you know, the regular intake comes off to the other side. Works great for some people, mostly if they're using a intercooler that's like right in front, not down below. Like I like them out in front. I like them getting really cool air, and I like them down below like that. So it just depends on what you want to do routing wise with your intercooler piping. The last thing I'm gonna add in these 3 builds in 3 years. You know, I'm getting a lot of people questioning me like, where's the videos? Why have you stopped? Like, what's next? Like I have done 3 builds in 3 years, and you know, I don't think too many people knew that. Like I'm not burnt out, but like I have the cars that I want. I've done a VR6 swap and 1.8T. I'm good. You know, like I don't need to build anything more. I have my Mark II VR6 cruiser car that sounds amazing. And then I have my take it out and rip it 1.8T car, and this car handles so good. So that's gonna be it. Hopefully this gives some information to the people asking all these questions over and over again. I'm gonna link this everywhere. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys next video.